feel, your health, everything is to show up. Life is just made up of choices, and we get to choose how we respond to things. The choice isn't always easy, but life isn't easy. But guess what? Living a life you don't enjoy is the hardest thing you can do. Would we agree? Living a life that you do not enjoy is one of the hardest things you can do. And so I don't want that for you. I want you to live a life that you enjoy. I want you to live a life that you're happy with. And a part of doing that is doing the things that we know are good for us, but we don't feel like doing, right? Who has held up strong on the no social media, no TV? That's one of the pillar stones of this journey. One of the main things that's going to actually allow you to stay mentally focused during this quick 7 days because it's going to go so fast. Many of you are going to finish. A lot of people are not going to finish because they are not going to follow all the instructions, unfortunately. But guess what? We're going to keep having the challenges. If you want to be a finisher, I want you to put in the chat, I commit for 7 days. We have to continually reaffirm ourselves that one, we're in it to win it, and two, we're committed. If we're trying, if we're hoping, if we're going to see how it goes, we're going to automatically fail. That's the terminology of people that do not succeed in life and people that do not reach their goals. People that reach their goals, they commit, right? They make a way and they finish. It's not going to be easy, but living the way you've been living clearly isn't easy either, or we wouldn't be here. So we have to decide what is going to be our challenge. Is our challenge going to be to take care of our health, or is our challenge going to be to keep fighting ourselves and have to go to the doctor and have to get on medication? Which challenge do you want to deal with today? You have to make the decision for yourself, right? Who wants to make the decision for good health, a long life, and a high quality life? Put me coach in the chat. If that's you, put me coach in the chat. All right. Now, how many of you have completed day zero? Put day zero complete in the chat. Put 7 day chat. Put, okay, good. If you haven't done day zero, even if this is your first time on the call, even if this is the second day or whatever the case may be, the most important thing you can do is do day zero because the challenge is not so much about losing as much weight in 7 days as it is to set a foundation for you to lose weight for the rest of your life. All right. So even if you're late to the party, you can still do this stuff. And if you're not sure what day zero is, it's inside of the program, which you can find within the Facebook group, right? Is there anyone that's in the challenge that doesn't have access to the actual challenge? Because the Facebook group isn't the challenge. The lives are a part of the challenge, but the challenge itself is an actual program that you should have. And so if you don't have it, you definitely want to get a hold of it, right? It's in the Facebook group, so you should have it, and it doesn't cost anything. And so if you want it, I can tell you how to get it, right? It's inside the Facebook group. If you go under the feature tab, you'll find it there. I'll also drop it here at the end of this presentation in case you don't have it, all right? Well, today we have a very special coaching call, right? And we're going to talk about one of the most popular things on the internet right now. Who can guess what we're talking about tonight? Let me see. Let me see what y'all's guesses are. GLP-1s. All right. Let's talk about it, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to talk about it objectively. What is going to be the good, the bad, the history. My goal as your coach is for you to be informed and to understand if you are going to make a decision, what that decision entails, right? What that decision actually entails, how it's going to impact your life for the good or for the bad. All right. And so let's get into it. Are you guys ready? Put ready coach in the chat. Right? Put ready coach in the chat. If you're new, just stay to the end. Right? We're not gonna have a super long coaching call, but it's gonna be very helpful and powerful for your journey. Has there anyone that's tried a GLP-1, Zepbound, Ozempic, any of those things? Um, what's any other ones? Wegovy, right? Ain't tried any of these things or thought about it. Your doctor told you you could be on it, you qualify for it, whatever the case may be, right? If that has happened or you've thought about it, like a lot of my clients have tried it. It's not any shame in your game, right? They tried it before working with us and they found that it is not a magical solution that they thought it was, right? You still have to put in some work. But no worries, right? No worries. I'm going to break everything down for you. So, GLP-1s and your fat burning foundation, what every woman should know, especially before you make a decision to inject yourself in the stomach with something. So, the real talk, why this matters for your journey, right? So, you're here because you want sustainable weight loss that actually lasts. Am I right? Put yes in the chat if that's true, right? So, maybe you tried everything. Maybe you're starting fresh, or maybe you're wondering if GLP-1s are the missing piece. Let's get real about what these medications can and can't do for your long-term success, right? So the bottom line up front, GLP-1s can be a powerful tool, but they work best when you've already built the foundation we're creating in this challenge. So let's go through the history, right? So first, let's get really clear. What is a GLP-1? So GLP-1 receptor agonist is originally developed for type 2 diabetes, right? So who knew that? Who knew that these medications were originally created to help people manage diabetes, right? The first GLP-1s were approved in 2014, which was called Saxenda. And then in 2021, Wegovy was approved, which revolutionized weight loss treatment. And the discovery literally came from studying lizard venom. So researchers found that Gila monster venom contained a compound similar to human GLP-1, but much more stable. And so here's the good about this medication, right? That you should know, that you should be aware of if you're thinking about taking it, right? So the good, why women are seeing real results, weight loss that actually works. So semaglutides like Wegovy or Ozempic are having women drop 15% of their body weight in a year. So if you weigh 200 pounds, it's helping them drop on average 30 pounds, right? Tirzepatides like Mounjaro and Zepbound is helping women drop 18%. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's like 36 pounds, right? And liraglutide is dropping 6%, right? Which is about 12 pounds a year, right? How many of you feel like you could probably drop 12 pounds on your own? Put me coach in the chat. How many of you feel like you could drop 36 pounds over the course of a year on your own? How many of you feel like you could drop 30 pounds over the course of an entire year on your own? Right. So it's definitely proven to be effective, but nothing you couldn't do with the right system, right? And so how do they support your fat burning foundation? So quiet food noise. It's going to help you to not have like as much cravings. You're not going to be thinking about food all the time. So if anyone has like food noise all the time and is always thinking about food, is always getting hungry, is always having cravings, it's going to help with that a ton, which is a big deal because, if you're having less cravings, then you're not going to want to eat as much. And if you're not eating as much, you're not going to consume as many calories. And if you don't consume as many calories, you're going to lose weight, right? Um, Natural appetite control. So you feel satisfied with appropriate portions without willpower battles. So you're not having to actually fight yourself and go, no, no, we've had enough, right? It's kind of just like, yeah, I'm good, right? I'm cool. I'm chilling. And that's one of the things that it helps you with. Number three would be breaking binge cycle. So less likely to experience extreme hunger that leads to overeating. So if you're someone that's like super crazy light night snacker, or you're just always stress eating, it can help with that. And then habit support. It can make it easier to stick to your nutrition plan consistently. And so what that means is, this is really it can be used as a tool. In my experience, in my opinion, right? Most people don't need this medication to lose weight. They just need to make habit changes and they'll lose weight because I work with so many women that have taken the medication and they gained all the way back. And we'll talk about that as well because they did not solve the foundational problem, right? If you don't solve the foundation of your nutrition and your movement and how you're taking care of yourself and your routine, you're going to always revert back to your unhealthy self, no matter what medications you take. The medication can only help you, right, reduce some of this noise, but it's not a medication where you give yourself a shot and then you can eat whatever you want and you still lose weight. It just doesn't work like that. And so beyond the scale of victories, it can help you with improved blood pressure, cholesterol, potential heart benefits beyond weight loss, insulin sensitivity, so better blood sugar control and insulin function even in non-diabetics, and reduce inflammation. So lower inflammatory markers throughout the body supports overall health. And I'm showing you this picture. This is our client Latifa. She didn't take any of the GLP-1s, what I want to show you is that she actually outperformed the medication. She lost 100 pounds in 8 months, which was 27% of her total body weight. And that outperforms all of these, right? It almost outperforms semaglutides twice over. It's 4 times or 5 times more effective than liraglutides, and um, 1.5 times more effective than tirzepatide. And she had PCOS, she had diabetes, someone that this medication was made for, and she had high blood pressure. I'm telling you to tell you this, right? Don't be so sure that you need to take medication before you get the foundation, right? Everybody put in the chat foundation. Now, I understand that there is a lot of doctors recommending this to you, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, I'm going to just tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what's possible if you have the proper foundation. Ultimately, you guys got to remember that it, because this medication has been proven to help people lose weight, there's nothing morally wrong with your doctor recommending it. At the end of the day, it is still a business. Being in the medical space is still a business. They are still trying to sell a product. It's not so much that it's a bad product or a corrupted product or a product that's going to kill you or that's going to be bad for you. It has been proven to work. It's just that a lot of times it's not necessary. And one principle we know when it comes to weight loss, and we're going to go over this later, is that the way you lose is weight is the way we keep it off. So even though it is an effective method to help you lose weight, if your goal is to lose weight and keep it off for good, and you don't want to take medication for the rest of your life, more than likely you're going to have to learn how to do this without the medication. And while in theory it is possible for you to do it after you take the medication, it is a lot harder, right, to transition off of the foundation or the method you use to lose weight. Does that make sense? How many of you have lost weight and gained it back before? Put me coach in the chat. A lot of people, right? And so what research shows us is that majority of people gain weight back within 5 years, especially if you use a method that is not sustainable. I would categorize medication as something that is it sustainable? It might not be sustainable financially. And there, even when you have the finances, which we're going to go over later, they run out of supplies sometimes. And there are side effects, long-term side effects we just don't know about yet because again, the medication was just approved within the last a little bit more than 10 years. So it's not a lot of long-term side effects. However, let's talk about the bad. What you need to consider to know before you consider them. What you need to know before what you need to know before you consider them, right? Side effects are common, especially for women. So gastrointestinal issues. So nausea is very common, right? You can go on TikTok, you can find a million people saying they have nauseous, diarrhea, constipation, acid reflux, feeling constantly on the edge, or being too full. Let me preface this by saying every medication has a side effect. So it's not my goal here to demonize it. Every single medication you get has a side effect. Take a Tylenol can have a side effect. Taking pain medication can have a side effect. It's just how medication works, right? You're taking medication. Specific concerns is you don't want to take this during pregnancy. You must stop 2 months before trying to conceive. We do work with a lot of women that have PCOS or hormonal issues that are trying to lose weight to have kids. So that is good for you guys to know. May affect menstrual cycles initially, and some women forget to eat. So you don't want to starve yourself. And that's why a lot of people talk about like Ozempic face, or when they are talking about people losing all their curves and shape and kind of like having a lot more extra loose skin and just not looking how they thought they were going to look when they lost the weight. That's not unique to Ozempic or any of these medications. It's unique to people starving themselves, what can happen because you might not feel hungry at all. So you want to be very conscious about that if you are going to take these medications. Now, the financial reality and response rate, right? It could be $350 to $500 a month for the rest of your life, right? Insurance battles, many plans don't cover it for weight loss. Supply shortages are still common. So even if you have the financial backing and insurance, you could run out of supply and that could completely wreck you, right? If you're on a rhythm, you're down 30 pounds, and then they run out of medication for 30 days, that can completely have you reset, which would be terrible because you're not in control of the medication, but you are in control of your actions. Put in the chat, I'm in control of my actions, right? 10 to 20% of women don't lose weight, significant weight. Individual variation is huge. No way to predict the response. There's no way to predict it. PCOS and insulin resistance may see different results, right? And so the ugly truth about long-term use, right? So the weight returns, about two-thirds of lost weight returns within the first year of stopping GLP-1s. So we've had so many women come work with us before they take the GLP-1s and after they take the GLP-1s. My goal here, again, not to demonize it, I'm just giving you the facts. Most people are gaining back two-thirds of the lost weight within the first year of stopping GLP-1s. And the weight gain typically begins within 8 weeks of stopping. So within 2 months, people typically gain the weight back. This is where your foundation matters most. Without the habits you're building, you become dependent on the medication for appetite control. So many people are getting on the medication, and that is it. They're like, boom, medication, I'm going to lose weight. If you were going to take the medication, you would need to learn how to do what we're doing right now first. Eating properly, moving your body, having systems, having a stable mindset, having a good sleep schedule. If you don't have these things, it's going to be challenging to maximize these medications if you were going to decide to take them. Does that make sense, ladies? And so, if you are going to take them or if you are taking them, you're going to waste your money if you don't build the foundation. We have to build the foundation. But what you're going to find is you are going to lose weight if you simply follow these principles, and the weight you're going to lose is going to outperform the medications. Again, on average, people are losing at the most 18 on average. There's always outliers. Always remember this. There's going to always be exception to the rules. And there's going to always be outliers. Outliers are people that outperform the expectations. While everyone else is losing 35 pounds in a year, there's a random person that lost 100 pounds in 6 months. That's not you. Always remember that. That's not you. Go off the average. If you magically do better, then great. But for the most of you, you're going to be around the average. And guess what? In order for there to be an average, there has to be things that are way lower, right? Well, there's the average is 18%. That means there's a bunch of people that were below 18%, and there's people that were above it, and then they met in the middle, right? So I want you to have a clear picture and clear expectations. And I don't want you to be discouraged when it doesn't magically change your life. Now, there's serious risk, right? Something called Ozempic phase. But serious risks are going to be like pancreatitis. These serious risks are very rare. Let me preface that again. And again, you could get side effects with any medication, y'all. Any medication. Any medication. You could have got it from any of the shots that you're given, any medication you get over the counter. You could get it from any. There's always side effects on things, right? So pancreatitis, gallbladder issues, thyroid concerns, kidney problems in some cases, and eye issues. Rare but emerging concerns, right? So we've seen crazy things emerge. They're pretty rare, right? But I'm not going to promise you it can't happen. Rapid weight loss can cause facial volume loss, making some women look older. This is more about the speed of weight loss than the medication itself. Okay, this is not unique to Ozempic or GLP-1s. I just say Ozempic because everyone knows Ozempic the most, but I'm talking about all the GLP-1s. At the end of the day, if you starve yourself and you lose a bunch of weight, you're going to have the same results as someone that takes Ozempic as far as your face is going to look, for lack of better words, older than you would like, less vibrant than you would like. Does that make sense? And so you want to lose this at a good pace and in a healthy way while eating your proper foundation of food. Pop quiz. How much protein should we be consuming in the morning? I told you guys yesterday. Boom, Stephanie, I love it. Yeah. Good job. All right. Um, I'm gonna give you 50 points. We have the Bull Fitness Games where we give out points and awards.
Some vegetables and a little greenhouse that we made. That really helped us a lot.
I don't even know how you guys unmuted. Wow. Anyways, everybody stay muted. Um, Stephanie, I'm going to give you 50 points. Like, you could write that down somewhere. That give you 50 points for answering that. Good job. If you choose GLP-1s, the foundation first approach, the first thing you want to do is master nutrition fundamentals first. What's the two parts of nutrition that I talk about inside the program, right? They both start with a Q. Put them in the chat. Who's got it? I got 100 points for whoever has it. If you don't know it, go look in your program. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Boom, Tanisha. I hope I said it right. Let me know if I said it right. If I didn't, sorry. I'll learn it later on. Tanisha, okay, perfect. Quality and quantity. Quality and quantity, right? So making sure we're getting our protein targets, our meal timing, our hunger and satiety cues before starting medication. Quality is the types of food we're eating during this challenge. We're only eating what types of foods during this challenge. Tell me in the chat. Well, y'all are on it. Okay. And so, and then we're only eating a certain amount of calories, and that's called a what? When we're in a what? Caloric deficit. Now, who can tell me how many calories they're eating right now that's putting them in their caloric deficit? Tell me, put your numbers in the chat. Ooh, pop quiz. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. And so the next thing is going to be building sustainable movement. Strength training is non-negotiable for maintaining muscle mass. Now, we're not doing strength training during this challenge because while strength training is the foundation, strength training can be an obstacle for a lot of people mentally, right? Also, if you don't have access to a gym. So, what movement are we doing right now this week? What should we be doing every single day? There's a specific distance that's prescribed. 2 miles a day keeps the belly fat away. Good. Now, developing stress management skills. What are two things we're doing right now to reduce your stress? Actually, three things. We're not watching TV. We're not watching social media, which has been shown to reduce stress. And we're going to bed on time, right? We should be going to bed early and getting 7 hours of sleep. That's going to reduce stress. These things will improve your stress. Now, you haven't been in a challenge long enough to feel like crazy change, but how many of you have found felt a shift in your stress in the last 24 to 48 hours simply by walking, eating better? Even coming to these calls is really good for you because it's a boost of positive input into your life. When most of the things we see on social media and on TV are very, very negative and controversial because that is how you get people's attention, right? There isn't going to be a crazy shift, but there's a noticeable shift within 24 to 48 hours of changing your habits. Now, for a lot of you, you might not be hitting everything on the head perfectly, okay? But that's okay because we're just starting out. Now, if you're getting your water in, how many ounces of water should we be having? You have reduced my social media, but it's hard not to peak. Delete it off your phone. That makes it easy. Make it easy as possible to make the right decision. All you have to do is commit. And remember, yesterday I said, if you want to change your life, you have to be willing to commit to the plan. I didn't say you had to get rid of social media for the entire year. All I said is give up 7 days on social media. Can we not sacrifice 7 days for ourselves? Are we not important enough? Right? Are you not important enough to sacrifice 7 days? It's hard not to peak. What are you peaking at? What are you getting? Right? You're getting distracted, and that's why you have not been able to focus and hit your goal. It's easy to get caught up in the things that feel good in the moment. It's a distraction. Things that feel good right away are a distraction because anything worth having in life takes time to build, right or wrong. A vacation feels good, but that's not real life. It's for a short term and then you have to return, and it typically costs you, right? It's always going to cost you a lot for that little bit of time. But if you can just be consistent in the boring stuff, you can have the life that you want. So many people are stuck in a loop of living the same 30 days, 7 days for 10, 20, 30 years simply because they couldn't say no. They couldn't say no. And that's how we get caught up in this situation where people are thinking that these shots are going to be magic because we want everything we want instantly. And when you're in the mindset where you must have everything instantly, you'll get nothing that you want. You'll get the short term sensation, that dopamine hit, but you'll never actually get anything worth anything. Your health will never actually get where you want it to be. You'll continue to get that quick high off of losing 10 or 20 pounds just to gain it right back. But the person that drops 100 pounds, 150 pounds, 50 pounds, keeps it off, even 30 pounds, keeps it off for the rest of their life, they take the time to make themselves first. Yesterday I said prioritizing yourself is not just about going to the spa, right? Self care isn't about going to get your nails done. Self care is about doing the things you don't feel like doing that you know are going to benefit you and change your life. The things that aren't fun are typically the most impactful for our future. And so that's why I hold this challenge. But I want to give you a reality check. You need one. Why is it taking you so long to lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds? Because you can't say no to yourself. And because it feels so good to get that hit, that you it feels so good you're willing to get diabetes. It feels so good you're willing to be 50 pounds overweight. It feels so good you're willing to talk about how you want to change with your friends and family and how you're about to do this challenge and how you're about to do this, that, and the third. But you really just like to talk about it. It's become a conversation piece. You're not really serious. Once you're serious, you'll say no, right? And a lot of people are ready to say no when it's too late. By the time you have a heart attack or a stroke, it's too late. And remember this, ladies. I talk to so many women that think they're in good health because they don't have a diagnosed health condition, blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol. No one has it until they have it. Do you think the people that get it are healthy right before they get it? No. They just haven't been diagnosed formally, but it's on the way unless you make a change. It's on the way. You are not healthy just because you don't have a health condition. Do you understand that? Now, are you in the worst health you could be in? No. But if you can't walk up the steps, if you can't do normal things, you know you're not in good health. If you don't feel great about where your weight's at, if you're hiding from the scale, you know you're not in great health. If your stomach has a so much fat in its midsection, you know you're not in good health. I don't have to tell you that. You know you're not because you're hiding from the scale. You're hiding from pictures. You're hiding from seeing reality. It feels better to hop on social media, to watch a show, to lay down, where no one, to be in la la land. That's where most people are trapped. They're trapped in la la land and they're being distracted. And they're gonna get distracted and entertained until they have a heart attack. And because it's so hard not to peak. I'm going tough on this because she said something. I respect her being honest. A lot of you didn't say anything, but you did it, but you weren't even honest enough to say you did it. You just pretended that you went with the flow. It hurts no one but you. Only you are getting damaged by the work you won't do and the sacrifice you won't make. A lot of people think a transformation is you going so crazy in the gym, you're working out twice a day, you're starving yourself, you're cutting out sugar, salt. For some of you, simply cutting out TV 2 hours before bed is the only thing that you need to do to make this change because then you would get up on time and then you'd be able to be consistent. For many of you, changing your diet from coffee and a muffin to eggs and spinach and Greek yogurt in the morning would change your life because then you wouldn't crash midday, have cravings, not eat till midnight, and not eat till the end of the day, grab something on the way home. Then you have cravings a little bit later, you're snacking, right? Just breaking that one habit. But instead, a lot of people just want to run to the medication. And if you don't solve these parts of your day, it won't go away. You'll constantly be in the same cycle. You know how many people I've worked with have had weight loss surgery? And how many people talk to me like, oh, this is my last try before I get weight loss surgery. This is my last try before I try medication. I promise you, if that's your mindset, one, you're not going to change. But then two, you can go try that stuff and you'll be right back where you started because you still have the same mindset. You still have the same mindset, right? And that's why I teach you guys the winning mindset. What's the three things winners do? Who knows this? I got 100 points for you. I got 100 points for you. What's three things winners do? I taught it yesterday. Now, I work with a lot of professionals. I work with people that run multi, six-figure, seven-figure businesses. I work with people that are leaders in their workspace, people that make big decisions on an everyday basis, right? And I've seen this even with my family. My family is, I would say, all high performers. We all are founders or running companies. And guess what? For some reason, a lot of people cannot master this part of their life. You're making big decisions. You're able to show up in other places, but in this place, you will not show up, right? And for a lot of you, it just feels too good, right? To say no to the other stuff. The other stuff is just too fun. All right. Um, but also, right, sometimes we don't realize that the other parts of our life have a system, and we don't have a system for this part of our life. We also haven't made a true commitment. All right. So it's these are the three things, and I want you guys to put them in the chat because it's going to change your life, right? Winners commit. They don't try. Trying is let me speak frankly to you guys, all right? To you ladies. I'm gonna speak frankly to you. Trying, I hope, I'll see, maybe is something that you would say if you want to lose. If and how I would define a loser is someone that says they're going to do something and doesn't do it. Is that a fair definition? So I wouldn't categorize it as accomplishing anything, doing anything with money or losing weight. I would say someone that constantly says they're going to do something but doesn't do it is carrying the characteristics of a loser. And if you want the characteristics of a loser, then that is okay with me. This isn't going to be a challenge for you. But if you want to win in life, if you want to be successful, if you want to reach your goals, if you're tired of going the same cycle, there's three things you have to do. It's simple, but it's not easy. You have to commit. You never say I'm going to try. I will do or not do. Be decisive with your words because if you're decisive with your words, you'll be more decisive with your actions. When we're so fluid with how we speak, then we're fluid with how we show up. And there's no way you can change your life if you are not concrete in your mindset. Now, are you going to always make the 2 miles? No, but you might make the mile. You might make the half a mile. You're going to show up in some capacity. Does that make sense? You always show up in some capacity. It might not be pretty. You might only go on a 10-minute walk, but you went and did something. That is the difference between the people that hit their goals and the people that don't hit their goals. Does that make sense? So winners commit, Winners make a way. What does make a way mean? Make a way means you found a way to show up. Now, it's not going to always be perfect. Sometimes you got to do it ugly. There's been days when I only work out for 10 minutes, but do we all have 10 minutes? Yes. Do we always got 10 minutes? We might not always want to dedicate the 10 minutes to working out, but we got 10 minutes, right? So I've been working out long enough to know I can run a mile in 10 minutes. That's a pretty good workout for me. Now, I know everybody else can't do that. That's cool. But you can go get you a half a mile, right? In 10 minutes. You can probably knock out 100 squats in 10 minutes. You can probably, do some jump rope for 10 minutes and be out of breath, right? And so this is what we want to focus on. Let me get back to the class though, right? I got sidetracked. So what we want to do is make sure we are creating accountability systems. So we have the checklist. Who has printed out the workbook or at least looked at the workbook for the challenge? We want to make sure we are using the workbook checklist. Even if you didn't print it out, just write it down somewhere and do each thing. One, the affirmation is a form of accountability, right? I'm capable of doing hard things. That's keeping you mentally on track. Two, the checklist is literally telling you what you're supposed to be doing. Did I do my 2 miles? Did I do my affirmations? Did I follow my nutrition? Did I actually track my food? Did I come to the coaching call? Whatever else is on there. I drink my water, right? It's a self accountability. And then you have to come here with me and you're going to be accountable to me. And so some of you, you probably wouldn't keep showing up, but I got to call a coach today and he's going to ask me, did I walk my 2 miles? And I want to be able to tell him without lying that I did my 2 miles. I want to be able to say that I showed up for myself, right? So we need accountability. These are things you're going to need whether you take medication or not. And so again, you can use the GLP-1s to amplify your foundation. So start after habits are established. After you're already walking 2 miles a day, you're tracking your calories, right? You are lifting weights. You are tracking your protein to intake. You're getting better rest. That's when you might want to add it in. But by the time you do that, you won't need to add it in because you would have changed your life. Use medication to support, not substitute for the foundation you've built. Practical mindful eating. You can use it to quiet food noise so that you can make the right decision for the whole foods that we're going to be focusing on to develop better eating awareness and skills and nail your protein targets. Leverage reduce hunger to focus on nutrient dense, protein rich foods. Since you'll eat less volume, make every bite count nutritionally. And so a long-term strategy would be, supervised exercise programs, professional nutritional guidance, regular self-monitoring, and strong social support, right? So that's why we have, of course, the challenges you started, but then we have our ongoing private coaching program. We work with our clients for 6 months. Like Lauren, who lost 120 pounds in our program, she had PCOS, diabetes, and high cholesterol. If you want to learn more about that itself, it's our one-on-one coaching programs, more so personalized around our clients. You can DM us the word private. You can text the word private. That's the two ways you can do it. And if you're on YouTube, you can look under one of the videos. I'm sure there's a link to book a call with us if you want to get into a support system like that. But that would be the long-term success strategies, right? Because even after you lose weight, a lot of people gain it back after 5 years because they don't have the right support. And so I want to show you guys Lauren, who dropped 100 pounds in 9 months, which was going from 285 to 185, which was 35% for her body weight. And I want to bring us back up to the top. So I'm going to close this out. Semaglutides help women drop 15% of their body weight in a year. Tirzepatides help women drop 18%, and liraglutide help women drop 6%, or just people in general, not just women, right? And she dropped 35% within 9 months, which is 3 months shorter than what the medications did. And we did it completely natural. So how many of you believe that you can do this completely natural if you have the right system and the right mindset, right? Put me coach in the chat. All right, and so GLP-1s versus your fat burning foundation. The science when researchers give people the exact same caloric deficit. So if you have all the foundational stuff, if we're doing all the same exact stuff, people that take the medication are going to lose weight a little bit faster. So if you're doing everything exactly the same, the problem is most people aren't doing everything they're supposed to be doing. That's why they're taking the medication in the first place. If you form the foundation, you're not going to need the medication, right? Well, that's a bar, right? If you form the foundation, you're not going to need the medication. That is just the truth. GLP-1s are not magic pills, but they're not cheating either. They're powerful tools that work best when combined with the exact foundation you're building this week, right? The women who succeed long term understand that sustainable weight loss is about systems, not quick fixes. They build their foundation first, then add tools as needed. So this medication would be a tool. So you would want to still do your foundation before you do the tool, right? They focus on health and energy, not just a scale, and they create multiple strategies for different life phases. Your 7-day challenge is teaching you the most important skill, how to eat for sustainable energy, how to move in ways you enjoy, and how to manage your stress without food, and how to create lasting change. Whether you ever use GLP-1s or not, these are the skills that will determine your long-term success. If you try to avoid them, you're going to gain the weight back. You have to do this. You have to do it, right? If you want to lose this weight and keep it off for good, you're going to have to learn how to have the right foundation. And if you decide to go in a different direction, you're going to just end up in the same place. It just is what it is. Um, as my mom told me when I was younger, the fastest way to reach your goal is to do it the right way the first time. If you try to take things that you think are shortcuts or faster ways, you typically end up right at square A, and you end up wasting a lot of time, right? And time is precious, is the one thing we can't get back, right? So this is our client Josephina, who dropped 50 pounds in 5 months. That was 27% of her body weight within 5 months. I'm showing you this again because I want you to know it's completely possible for you to lose the same amount of weight the people that are taking the medication are taking in less time. It's much faster if you just do it the right way with the right foundation. And if you are going to take the medication, at least do it when you have the right foundation. It will not replace your terrible diet. It will not replace your lack of movement. It will not replace your lack of clarity on what you should be doing. And it will not create a system where you understand how you should be eating when you travel, when you're busy, when it's the holidays. What we specifically do for our clients is make it a clear system. We want it to be um, almost second nature by the time you finish working with us, right? And so when you have a clear system of how your life operates on the weekend, during the week, during your busy weeks, we work with like accountants, and typically accountants have crazy weeks at the end of the month. We work at night. A lot of registered nurses that work at night, right? And so the way that they're going to approach is going to be different than someone else. So understanding how all the different parts of your day and year work in a system, right? This is not nutrition, this is not working out, but understanding how you navigate these different things throughout the year, that's going to be one of the main things that's going to help you change your life. And you're not going to find that in a shot, right? You're going to find that by doing the work and breaking down, okay, how do I navigate my year and getting clear structure and support to make that happen. The very first thing and the best thing you can do is finish this challenge. If you don't finish this challenge, you're saying to yourself, I'm not important enough to commit to myself. It doesn't get any simpler than this. It's not going to get much easier than this to apply, right? Would we say that, would you agree that everything I'm asking you guys to do this week is pretty straightforward and it's pretty reasonable? Would we say yes to that? Let me get a yes coach in the chat. I feel very confident that everyone on here, even if you can't walk 2 miles throughout the day, you can get a walking pattern. You can walk while you work. You can walk before work. You can walk after work. You can eat whole foods. Whole foods taste great. We're still eating great food, steak and salmon and chicken, right? Potatoes and sweet potatoes. You're eating still very. You can still season your food, right? You can still travel. You can still eat out. But we have to do the foundational stuff. Are we tracking our calories? Are we prepping ahead of time? Did we do day zero? Most of you didn't do day zero, and that's why you have never reached your goal, right? Someone said they need hormonal support. If you need hormonal support, as far as you need like hormonal replacement, you need to talk to your doctor, right? What we're talking about is nutritionally how you can be eating to support your hormones as they are changing. I don't have social media. The program itself has day zero. Again, guys. Oh, maybe I didn't send out the text, and that might be on me. I might not send out the text. It's inside the Facebook group, but here what I'll do. If you're on live right now, I'm going to drop the program. And what I'll do for my friends on YouTube, because I'm assuming Lorraine, you're from YouTube. Is that correct? Okay, Athena hooked you up. She just dropped the program, and I'll drop it too. First of all, shout out to all my YouTube family. We are growing on YouTube now, and I'm not used to people not having our Instagram or our Facebook. So I got you. I hooked you up. What I'll do is I will put the program in the YouTube description moving forward because we are live on YouTube right now. Um, and let me see if I can update it right now. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna add it. Gain access to the program here. So hopefully this updates in real time and I can just update it. Boom, from the stream. All right, my YouTube family, let me know if you see the link to the program on the YouTube now. All right, because I've added it now. So hopefully you all can see it. But overall, you guys, The most important thing is that I can teach you is do it right the first time. Life just doesn't work like that, right? It just doesn't work in a way where you can just skip the foundational stuff now and still get the results that you want. There's a reason why you keep ending up in the same position that you've been in, and it's because you aren't doing the foundational work. Every time I've seen people try to lose weight, they just get too excited. You guys go too extreme. I'm gonna do 75 hard. I'm gonna cut out all my carbs. I'm gonna have super salad. I'm gonna walk in the morning. I'm gonna work out at night. I'm gonna work out at lunch. I'm blow my face. And you guys crash and burn. Slowest. This is what I learned in the military. I'm a veteran. All right, I served in the military for 8 years in the army. Right, I did 4 years enlisted, 4 years as an officer. For anyone that served, they know what that means. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Fast is sexy. Take your time. You keep trying to rush, and that's why you haven't reached your goal. You keep trying to do some type of gimmicky, trendy thing, and that's why you keep crashing and burning. Slow is smooth. Okay, it's gonna take you a year to drop 80 pounds, 100 pounds. So what? The year is gonna pass, and you've been trying to lose weight for 5 years anyways. If you would have took 1 year and did it right, you'd be done. Oh, so what? You gotta wait 5 minutes to drop 50 pounds. Okay, you just waited 4 years to do it anyways. Let's just do it right the first time. Why wait till your doctor's telling you have high blood pressure and diabetes to take this seriously? And even once they tell you guys that, you don't take it that seriously because your whole family has it. So you don't think it's that big of a deal. You know it's bad, but it doesn't seem that urgent. Guess what? When you guys get diagnosed with these medical conditions, it's like a bomb, and we don't know when it's going to go off. I talked about this yesterday. High blood pressure is like is called the silent killer, which means we don't know when it's coming, but we know it's going to come. Now it might not come for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but it's coming for you. When you get told you are even close to these things, you need to treat it like a bomb. Get away from it. What do we do when there's a bomb around? Run, right? And if you maybe if you started running, you get away from it. But you need to treat it like a serious threat. On a serious note, you have to treat this like a very serious threat. And if you don't, really bad things will happen. I mean, I'm not saying it on a thing like, oh, like you're gonna like really bad things will happen. I think we know. I think we've all seen enough. I've seen it in my family. I've seen people get their foot chopped off. Do we know that diabetes is the number one reason why people get lower body extremity amputations? That just means that's the number one reason why people get their legs and feet and toes chopped off, right? That's the number one reason. Do you know that diabetes? Do you guys know that heart disease kills more women than all cancers combined? Do you guys know that? So when someone tells you have high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, one of the things that falls into the deadly trifecta, which leads to you having heart disease, you need to act fast because it's more dangerous than having cancer. If someone told you had cancer, you would react. You would be scared, you'd be upset, you'd be sad, you'd be in shock. But for some reason, when something that's more dangerous, that's killed more people than all the cancers combined, is mentioned that we're on the route to it, we're just chilling. We're still not exercising, we're still not eating right, we're still trying to take shortcuts. It's a bomb. You need to make a change. You need to make a change. You have to make a change. You have to make a change. You have to constantly fight for this. Everyone wants it to be easy. Life is not set up to be a walk in the park, but it doesn't have to be complicated either. And you have to make your life in a way to where it makes sense and where it can be simple and smooth. And that's what we do for most of our clients, right? We make it simple and smooth. Anybody can look up a workout plan, anybody can look up a nutrition plan. Can we make it make sense? Can we make it make sense when we have to travel for work? Can we make it make sense when we have off work? Can we make it make sense when we're having a crazy week with the family? Right? That is the things that people typically need. But the first thing you need before you do any of those things is the proper mindset and the proper foundation. At the bare minimum, no matter what happens in your life, the things we learned during the 7-day challenge should be your anchor. Okay, no matter how crazy life gets, I'm gonna get my 2 miles in. No matter how crazy life gets, I'm going to make sure I get my food prepped and I'm gonna track my calories. Even if I'm eating out, I'm still gonna track my calories. Even if I'm on the go, I'm still gonna track my calories. I'm still gonna make sure I try to get a half of my body weight in water throughout the day. That's the basic foundation. And when things get really crazy and you can't focus, you should cut out social media and TV as well, because those are distractions and they're going to burn time and they're going to put you in a bad space because you're going to start to watch things that are in a line are aligning with the mood you're in, and you're going to lean in to a dopamine hit and run away from reality. And whenever we run away from reality, reality gets worse. Do you agree? right? We have to lean into what's going on so we can make it better. Right. So this is the foundation for anytime you're feeling off, anytime you're struggling to get yourself back on track, anytime you need to get back to your foundation for weight, you run yourself through this 7-day challenge. Even after you lost 100 pounds and it's been 5 years, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling. Run yourself through the 7-day challenge, right? 2 miles a day, no TV, no social media, only whole foods, or having body weight and water, right? Go to bed on time, and just prove to yourself that you're committed. Because another problem that you guys have is that you have low confidence in your ability to commit to things. And that's why when I say, okay, let's do this 2 miles every single day, or I'm like, I'll cut out the socials, it's hard for you. You don't have a track record of committing to things completely, at least not in this area of your life. Maybe in other areas you have, right? Because we work with a lot of really successful people that are still overweight and unhealthy. So to be successful, you have to be able to commit and focus and concentrate and follow a plan to be able to work with others and be able to lead others. But in this area of your specifically this area of your life, you have struggled to commit, right? And because if life is so good in other areas and life is good, you got the money to do what you want to do, you're living where you want to be, family's great, right? is Why would you want to make yourself go walk, right? When it's not really as fun as watching the TV show, but you have to do it because it's funner than sitting in the doctor's office. You understand? So, anyways, y'all, I want you to be healthy. The reason I host these challenges is to get you activated, right? This is called an activation event. We put out a lot of information, we put out a lot of videos, we do a lot of different things, we show transformations. But the most important thing we could do is get activated because all the information in the world means nothing if we do nothing with it. Does that make sense? We have to get activated, and this has activated you. Listening to me speak, watching the information, seeing the transformations, you going and doing the work is what will change your life. You must get a positive download on a daily basis. That's why by the time we finish tomorrow, you're gonna feel way better than you did on day one. Because every day you're coming here before you go to bed and getting a positive download versus watching TV, which is typically dramatic and negative, right? Most TV shows aren't positive anymore. Most social media is not positive because positive doesn't sell. Dramatic sells. So getting this positive download from coach that I'm pushing you and I'm encouraging you to I'm leading you toward the person you want to be. That you know that you deserve to be, but you're scared to commit to because you're scared to fail because you don't have a track record of committing in this part of your life. But I'm helping you. That's why we have the structure. By the time you finish this, I promise you'll be proud of yourself. You'll see how capable you are, and you'll show yourself, you'll teach yourself that you are capable of changing your life. If you can simply commit for 7 days, everything will change. All right. I want you guys to put in the chat as I sign off. I am a winner and I commit. Remember, this is for you, not me. Right? This is for you, not me. This is for you, not me. This is for you, not your friends. This is for you, not your spouse. This is for you, not your kids. They will benefit from it, but it's for you. You will always feel better when you take care of you, and everyone around you will feel better when you take care of you because you'll treat everyone else around you better. Right? You're not you when you're unhealthy. I promise. Show up for yourself. You're a winner. You're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner, and you're capable of doing hard things. How many of you feel after this call right now better than you did at the beginning of the call? You feel way better because you need positive inputs. There's a reason why I tell you to cut out social media and TV because I'm trying to cut out negative inputs. Your brain cannot think a negative and a positive at the same time. Does that make sense? So if I'm constantly feeding you positivity, I'm constantly affirming that you're a winner. You're constantly affirming that you're a winner, and we're cutting out your main source of negativity. Don't you know you're gonna feel way better? You're gonna feel way better. All right. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. Do your 2 miles. My advice, if you're struggling with do your 2 miles, do the 2 miles while I do the live coaching call. We'll be here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Can I get a commitment that everyone's gonna be here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow? I commit in the chat. That was crazy. Can you guys hear that? All right, I'm signing off for real this time. Everybody be blessed by the best. The week's gonna fly. Tomorrow we're halfway through. So you already know what to do. Stay consistent, show up. You're a winner. You're a winner. You're